You guys might have seen in my recent videos that I don't really have a huge sweet tooth anymore because I was able to get rid of my sugar addiction. But there are some times that maybe at the end of the day, I do want a little bit of a sweet treat or some type of treat in general. And during these times, I want to make sure it's something that tastes great, but also won't make me feel crummy the next day as well. And something that won't cause me to spiral back into other sugar addictive behaviors. So I don't often eat dessert, but when I do, these are the 12 desserts that I eat as a nutritionist. My name's Autumn. I'm a certified clinical nutritionist with my master's in nutrition human performance, and today's video is sponsored by Thrive Market. More on them in a bit. Okay, before we dive in, I want to differentiate between the occasional desserts during the week and more of a celebratory dessert. These are wildly different. The desserts that I'll occasionally have during the week, I view as more of treats. Foods that aren't necessarily as refined, maybe they have some sugar in them, but it's not a really highly refined, highly processed food. Then there are those more celebratory and much more rare occasions of desserts. This would be an event like my birthday, for example. And on these rare occasions, I might have something that does contain more refined food products like flour or sugar, even though I know it'll make me feel really crummy the next day because I know that this is such a rare occasion. These more traditional types of desserts like traditional cookies or cakes are not foods that I would have on a consistent basis because they are something that would really spike the blood sugar, cause me to get back into that more addictive spiral of cravings and food cravings, and have historically made my anxiety just skyrocket when I have more of these foods in my diet. So these two categories of foods of like my weekly type of treat options versus these much more rare celebratory foods that really is just like on my birthday or like on Christmas, I view as two entirely different categories. So what I'm sharing today are the types of foods that I will have as more of a dessert during the week, something that isn't going to wildly spike my blood sugar, not going to make me feel crummy the next day, and not going to cause my sugar cravings to skyrocket the next day either. And typically I have these desserts maybe like 1 to 2 times per week, but also it can vary each week. Okay, so now with all of that, let's dive into the list. The first one is probably the one I use the most often. In fact, it is the one I use the most often, and it's whipped cream and berries. I make my own homemade whipped cream with just regular heavy cream and a little bit of vanilla extract that we just whip up with a hand mixer, and then pair that with low sugar fruit, usually strawberries, sometimes raspberries, sometimes blueberries. This has 0 sugar other than the sugar that's just naturally in the low sugar fruit, but it hits the spot when you're looking for something like creamy like ice cream. The second food I'll have as a dessert is homemade popcorn, which I know is probably a surprise for a lot of you guys if you've seen my channel for a while, because I talk extensively about how popcorn is not a great snack food item, which I still stand by because it doesn't really contain any protein to help make you feel satisfied. So eating this between meals is not going to be a great option from a weight loss perspective. But that's why I do view popcorn as more of a treat, like when we're having movie night after having dinner. So I've had my protein for the day, my blood sugar levels are going to be a lot more stable, and we just make some homemade popcorn on the stovetop, a little butter, a little olive oil, and then we top it with some Parmesan, which I do view much differently than having just a bag of pre-popped popcorn that you can munch on at any time during the day and therefore have more of snacking behavior. Okay, the third dessert is regular dark chocolate. I used to eat more of this. I don't eat it as often anymore, but there are times where I'm just like, that sounds good. So on the rare occasion, I will have a couple squares of like a lower sugar dark chocolate like Hue, or maybe I'll have one that's stevia sweetened. It's slightly bitter, slightly sweet, so it does help to satisfy that slight sweet tooth, but without causing more cravings. Now, before we continue on, I wanna give a huge thank you to today's sponsor, Thrive Market. Thrive Market is a really awesome online membership-based grocery store, and they're on a mission to make healthy living as easy and accessible and affordable as possible. They're also delivered directly to your door, making it just super convenient, so you don't even have to go to the grocery store to find some of these items. And you save on every order on high quality brands like Hue chocolate or the stevia sweetened Lily's dark chocolate that I just mentioned on their website or on their app. And if you happen to find the price lower somewhere else, Thrive Market will match the price, always guaranteeing the lowest price. And orders over $49 have free shipping. I love how they have filters to discover different brands that fit your dietary preferences or needs. So like if you're plant-based or you're keto or you're gluten-free or you're opting for grass-fed, then you can mark these off on their filters to make sure that you're choosing what fits your needs without having to do all that research and legwork yourself. Thrive Market also helps give you access to foods that maybe you couldn't find at your local grocery store. So perhaps you don't have some of these lower sugar options at your local grocery store like the stevia sweetened chocolate, but on Thrive Market, you can get it directly delivered to your door, all while saving money in the process. And in fact, many of the items I'm sharing today can be found on Thrive Market to make getting higher quality dessert or treat items easier. And right now you can join Thrive Market to get 30% off your first order plus a free gift worth up to $60. So make sure you head over to thrivemarket.com nutritionist.com/autumnbase to get 30% off your first order. I'll also have it linked down in the description below so you guys don't miss out on that discount. Okay, the fourth dessert I'll have is more of like a traditional dessert option that I made a bit healthier, and it's my peanut butter and chocolate chip cookies. This is when I feel like having some type of baked good because we all occasionally will get that urge. Now this does have some added sugar in the form of maple syrup or honey, so it is one that's more of like a true dessert than just having something like the berries and cream, but it has 0 grains and just uses peanut butter as the base, making it so that the overall glycemic load is so much lower. I love dipping my peanut butter cookies in just like milk, like traditional milk and cookies. It feels so indulgent, but it's so much better for you than traditional cookies. And my clients and their kids absolutely love this, and it's such a better swap than getting just like regular refined flour cookies. Okay, the fifth is chocolate covered strawberries. Now I don't make this one as often, but every now and then I really crave it. I love that it feels so indulgent, but it also is combining 2 ingredients that aren't going to be excessively high in sugar. Especially if you're baking at home on your own, you can control the types of chocolate you're using, making sure you're using dark chocolate or again the stevia sweetened chocolate, and it feels indulgent without the huge sugar overload. Okay, the sixth is grain-free granola to have as cereal. This isn't one that I'll have all the time, but there is going to be like that occasion where just having a bowl of like milk and cereal does sound really nice. So instead of having the really sugary, ultra processed cereals that's not going to support how I feel or my wellness goals, I like to have some of these like grain-free cereal options or grain-free granolas. What I look for is that they just use like nuts. And that's pretty much it. So I got both of these from Thrive Market as well. This one has almonds, coconut, sunflower seeds, dates, pecans, pumpkin seeds, coconut oil, flax seeds, chia seeds, strawberries, banana, and vanilla extract, and that's it. For a serving, the whole thing only has about 5 net grams of carbohydrates, 4 grams of fiber, and so it's pretty much just like having some nuts. But it feels a little bit more indulgent and it feels a little bit closer to cereal without all the sugar. Okay, the 7th thing I'll make are healthier muffins. This is again when I'm feeling like more of a baked good. And this is more of like a fall treat. I don't really make this any other time of year, but Trevor, my husband, loves to have these during that time, and it's so much better than having like a cinnamon roll. So I make my homemade chickpea muffins or pumpkin muffins, and they just use like chickpeas as the base that are just ground up. Both of these are featured for my Thriving cookbook if you guys have that one. But because I'm using something like regular chickpeas as the base, the glycemic load is so much lower than just having like regular flour muffins. Now granted, this one is probably not the best option if you are very carb sensitive, but if not, and if you are looking for more of like a baked good, this is such a better option than having a traditional muffin. Okay, the 8th are protein mug cakes. I've shared my chocolate brownie and my pumpkin spice mug cakes in the past. They're great because they're so high in protein because it uses my 0 sugar protein powder as the base, and it doesn't have any added sugar. So this is actually the better option if you are carb sensitive and if you do want some type of lower sugar or 0 sugar dessert while still getting in like 26 grams of protein. So you're definitely going to feel satisfied. Okay, my 9th dessert is a more recent dessert, and this is my strawberry jam stirred into yogurt. Recently, I've been making a homemade strawberry jam recipe, and it has 0 added sugar. It's literally just frozen strawberries, chia seeds, and vanilla extract, and that's it. So it's really low in sugar, but it still gives you that experience of having jam. I like to stir it into just regular yogurt, and it makes it feel a little bit more indulgent. Maybe I'll top it with some cacao nibs or perhaps that grain-free granola. So good. Okay, my 10th dessert is cheese with that strawberry jam. This might not seem like a dessert, but oh my gosh, it is so good. Kind of like getting a cheese board where you have like all those fun different cheeses and then having like that fig jam on the side, except fig jam is really high in sugar. This kind of replicates that same type of end of meal cheese board dessert. Literally drooling just thinking about it. It's so good. I like to pair it with like sharp cheddar or like a blue cheese or like any cheese. It's amazing. I want that tonight. Okay, the 11th dessert is my protein hot chocolate. I shared this recipe on my YouTube channel a while back, and it is so good. It tastes so much like just the real deal hot chocolate, all without any added sugar. It uses my 0 sugar chocolate protein powder mixed with unsweetened cocoa powder to make it really rich and delicious. And then I personally use whole milk, but you can also use like unsweetened almond milk as the base. And if I'm feeling really fancy, I'll then top it with a little bit of homemade 0 sugar whipped cream. It's so good. I'll have the recipe for it linked up here. You guys need to try it out. Okay, and the 12th dessert are protein popsicles. This uses a base of like Greek yogurt or skyr, which are both really high in protein, as well as different fruit blended in with a little vanilla extract. So it could be like strawberries or blackberries or blueberries. And then something else I'll add in to make it like just taste so good is like some lemon zest or lemon juice. And then I just freeze it into individual popsicle containers and have that during the summer. oh, so good, like the popsicle vibe without any added sugar, and with quite a bit of protein. Now, a lot of the things I mentioned in today's video, like the chocolate, the popcorn, and the grain-free granola can all be found on Thrive Market and delivered directly to your door. So if you want to get that 30% discount off your first order and the free gift valued up to $60, make sure you check out the link thrivemarket.com/autumnbates. Or you can click the link down in the description box so you can take advantage of the discount. Now, if you guys want to see the only snacks that I eat as a nutritionist, you can check out this video next. Also, if you're new to my channel and you love this science-backed information, make sure you subscribe right here. Come out new videos every Tuesday and Thursday. All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in my next video.